want to tell you guys a story if you don't mind, okay? I want to tell you guys this quick story. And only the people who have been around in this Philippine genre community for at least a period of 4 years or more are likely going to remember this story. I can't remember the exact time frame of when things took place, but I'm pretty sure if anybody was around when it happened and they were able to verify that this particular situation went down, you guys would probably be able to provide the information that people may ask for, or be able to corroborate the factual nature of the story in which I'm about to share. Okay? Now, there's 3 parties involved in this particular story. We're going to call this Philippine foreign vlogger number 1, Philippine foreign vlogger number 2, and the ex of Philippine vlogger number 1. Okay, there's 3 particular parties in this story that you guys are gonna be introduced to. Okay, so Philippine foreign vlogger number 1. You know, he came to fame a little bit earlier on. I think he was on way before I was. You know, he garnished a pretty decent following, you know, as a result of his time on as opposed to his time on YouTube. I mean, his content was interesting in the approach that he took. I'm not going to tell you exactly the backstory of this particular gentleman, because then you'll know exactly who I'm talking about. And the, how can I say this? The interest and intrigue will definitely die down. But Philippine vlogger number 1, foreign vlogger number 1, had a channel, rise to fame. Not rise to fame, but had a decent following. Okay? Now, this particular gentleman was in a relationship during a period of time while his YouTube channel was going on, and basically his girl at the time was in his videos often. Often. Like damn near every video she was in it with him. So you could tell that it was a relationship in which he laid claim to, and vice versa. It was a relationship in which she laid claim to. Okay? So one thing led to another. None of my personal business, but basically they went their separate ways, okay? They went their separate ways, you know, everybody's doing their own thing for a while. And then there's this fellow, which people refer to as foreign Philippine vlogger number 2. Now this guy, I think that he rose to Filipino vlogger fame, online YouTube fame, rapidly, because a lot of the videos were controversial to some people. You know, it included content that would definitely be favorable for an audience of men looking to travel to the Philippines. So the channel, in my opinion, it blew up relatively quickly. Now, he was known for doing some pretty interesting things and saying some pretty interesting things. As a result, his channel grew, you know? Whether you liked him, whether you didn't like him, people were following him just to see what he was going to do next and or say next. And in one particular video, I remember it like it was yesterday, the video was pointed at the young lady, right? And it was a very quick video, not long at all. But you could hear his voice in the background, and the video was pointed at a young lady that was dressed or getting dressed and walking out of the room in which they were in at the moment, right? Can't remember the words distinctly, what was said, just know some shit was said, okay? Come to find out, this particular young lady that was being filmed by Philippine vlogger number 2, foreign Philippine vlogger number 2, was none other than the ex of the first foreign Philippine vlogger. Now, understandably so, the first guy was upset about this, right? It was a blatant jab, uppercut to go after somebody's ex and then put it out there for everybody to see. Because all that did was give anybody that hated him, trolled him in any capacity, ammunition to go back and say, oh, look at what this guy did with your ex. Ha 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 ha. Right? So, rightfully so, old buddy was upset. You know what I'm saying? He made his little videos about, you know, how disrespectful and rude and fucked up it was and all of that shit. Right? You know, he was in his feelings. Never really followed up on how that played out. But probably about 6 months later, to about a year later after the incident happened and that video was put out, a notification came up for a live stream. At that moment, the stream probably was going for about 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes or so. I jump in. Minute after I jump in, super chat comes up. Guess who super chatted? Philippine vlogger number 1. You guessed it. The other guy. Philippine vlogger number 2. Don't remember what was said in there, but all I know is that he recognized it. He saw that it was there. And he didn't seem upset anymore, right? He didn't seem angry anymore. It was almost as if they had become besties, you know? I'm thinking to myself, there's 2 ways that you can handle a situation like this. Number 1, you can blow up like he did, and I'm still thinking he's angry and he's still holding on to that same energy. Or the second way is you can say, hey, look, man, baby girl is for the streets now. It was an ex. Like I said, there was no overlap. He didn't smash my girl while he was with me. So it is what it is, right? I mean, we weren't together at the time, so it doesn't really matter, right? 2 ways you can handle that situation. But I guess he chose the latter. And as a result of that choice of, I guess, letting go of the anger he may have had towards this guy, I often thought about how I would handle a situation like that, you know? Because it wasn't so much the fact that you slept with an ex. Who, at that point, who really gives a fuck, right? But it was the blatant audacity that you had to kind of direct that energy towards me. And I knew, and you could feel, and everybody who was made aware of this particular situation knew that it was an intentional jab, hook, uppercut, finisher towards this guy. For no particular reason at all that I could think of. You blatantly did this shit to do what? To come after me, right? Or to make other people come after me. So, again, you can handle it like, hey, she for the streets, that's an ex, who cares? Or you can recognize it for what it is, and you can still have that same energy. Like, yo, man, fuck this dude. Right? And I often think to myself, how would I handle it? You know, I'm not a fighter. I'm not. Y'all know this shit. I would rather handle any differences with words. Right? Let me talk it out. Let's figure out what we can do about it. But I have to admit, personal beliefs and opinions alone, I don't know how you guys feel about it, but for me, I kind of feel like regardless whether I win or lose, knowing that your intent in your mind wasn't so much to fucking ex, but to try to come after me in that way, it's like, bro, if I see you, whether, like I said, whether I win, lose, or draw, pimping, we gonna have to talk about it. But we ain't gonna be talking with our mouths, right? Again, I don't fight, bro. It's not my thing. I'm not saying that I can't fight. I just don't fight. It's not worth it. But for some reason, it kind of feels like what you were doing was like, yo, you challenging a man to what? Right? What are you challenging me for? Like, again, the video, that's what I'm saying. It feels like more or less a challenge when you try to come after me that way. Because it wasn't so much you slept with my ex. Who gives a fuck, right? Another, just a hoe gonna be a hoe. Girl gonna be a girl, whatever it may be. But if you were around when it happened, and you saw how it happened, and you saw the title of the video, it was almost as if it was a direct attack for no particular reason at all that I was made aware of. And it just makes you think, bro, how would you handle a situation if somebody came at you like that? They didn't come at you directly with words, because you can handle that, but they try to come at you through the back door, figuratively and literally, by going through somebody that you knew. You know, it's just crazy to think that. And until this day, I just don't know, man. It's just weird. But all I know is that story happened. True to life. Put my hand on the stack of Bibles, and most people can attest to knowing about that story if they were around about 2-3 years ago. Again, names have not necessarily been changed to protect the innocent, because I never drop names at all. But just know about the 3 parties involved. Philippine vlogger number 1, the ex of Philippine vlogger number 1, and Philippine vlogger number 2. Only names you need to know. And I'm pretty sure somebody's going to be very familiar with that situation and probably try to drop names. But I will neither confirm or deny that that is the story in which I'm talking about. So don't ask me. All right. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Probably did. Probably didn't. But it's amazing the types of shit that goes on YouTube, guys. And that just happened to be one of the bigger stories of a couple of years back. For me, I was like, damn, that was tough. That was tough. You know, that was brutal. It just seemed a bit, it was done in bad taste to me. But again, it goes to show you to what lengths people will go to come for you. You know, it's just crazy. And if you ever want to be a YouTuber, man, you got to be willing to accept and be subject to any type of ridicule, any type of people talking shit, and who knows how they will try to come for you. That's all I got to say. Alright, man, that's my time, man. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. You already know what to do if you did. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Want to drop a couple dollars on the Good Dice book. There's a heart that says thank you. If you enjoyed this story, put a couple dollars on there. I'd appreciate that. Patreon, description area below. Ebooks, all of the good shit, description area below. That's my time. Alright, with that being said, Good Doc is officially out. At least knuckle by alone, which means I am going now. Bye-bye. As always, love you guys. Sincerely do. Makita. Mabuhay. Peace.